I know play calling is an easy target, but I know obviously you're trying something a little bit new this year. How do you feel that worked out, and do you at this moment anticipate doing the same next season, or maybe changing it a little bit?
You know what? Not prepared to answer that yet, whether we're going to change or not. It's not something new. I've done it before, and it's not just about me. The thing about it is, it's not just about me. It's about everybody involved on the offensive side of the ball. And let me go back. It's the whole entire team, because as the head coach, that affects time and everything like that. So I will evaluate that. I will self-evaluate my time and how productive I am being on the offensive side of the ball and doing those things. But as I go back and look at it, there's a lot of things in there that I see that not everybody gets to see, and you get to decide, was that good or bad? And why was it bad? The good, you don't have to answer about the good. You answer about why didn't it work? Well, there's reasons, and you want to figure out why. Certainly that can be timing and calling and all that, but that question, not everybody has the same information I do on it, and I think what I look at more is how productive does that make us as an entire football team. And as the head coach, I look at it like that, and then I look at it from the assistant's standpoint too. All right, are we maximizing everything we're doing? And that's really regardless of how the seasons have gone, undefeated seasons to 2 or 3 loss seasons. You go back, and I've always thought of it the same way. You just break it all down, and you look at it, and you're open-minded about it, and you get your coach's opinions too, and they can talk to you and say, hey, this was good, that was not good. But my job is to make sure that everybody here is getting better. And if that includes what I'm doing and the offensive side of it, then great. If it doesn't, we'll reevaluate it later.
You guys waited until the day before the game, I believe, to announce that McNichols had decided to go into the NFL draft. There were people outside the program that speculated that may have been a distraction. If you could go back and do it, would you do it the exact same way again?
That's a good question. I don't think we changed it. We did that with Jay. We did it prior to the game. I don't think that was a reason why we played the way we played. I really don't. And let me just say this. If I did or thought that would have been, then we wouldn't have done it. It's something we're proud of McNichols. I'll just say this. Jeremy McNichols, on the field, off the field, academically, that kid did every single thing we've ever asked a player to do. I got nothing but the highest praise for him. And so, as teammates, I think people probably had a pretty good idea, and it was time to make that announcement. I don't think that had an effect on the way that we went out there and played. There's obvious reasons of things that happened in that game, and part of it was Baylor's a really good football team, and they had some really good players. Katie Cannon was as advertised, if not better. But that's something we'll always go back, and I didn't hear that internally, but I always go back and analyze things like that. And I think the way Jeremy handled it, if it had been handled differently, maybe with a different player, I might have thought that. But McNichols, like I said, that guy has been a great example for all of our players on this team. So I don't think that was a part of a distraction going into the game.
You look at Brett's last couple of games of the season, and I know big emphasis on quarterback is accuracy and completing passes and stuff, and he just didn't seem that accurate down the stretch. And the Air Force game, he was like 9 of 26, and a couple of underthrows that led to big turnovers in the game. I'm just curious on Brett in his last couple of games.
Well, I think, statistically you can look at all that. Mm-hmm. I'll go back to what matters, in my opinion. Yeah. All right, at quarterback, toughness showed it. Brett played the entire year and got hit pretty good. Mm-hmm. His preparation habits, very good at it. He's one of the best I've been around. He cares, it matters to him. His decision making, always going to be and never perfect in any game. When we sit down and watch it, I think we all know as quarterbacks, when we sit in there, we're going to nitpick that and make sure that we understand why it happened and learn from it. Accuracy, there's some times when the ball is not placed exactly where you want it to be, but then I also get to see the film where the windows change. And sometimes those windows, they're hard to find, and they happen in a split second. Brett is capable of being one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think he's shown some of that. He's shown some of that in our league, but he and I, and I'll be the first one, and being the next quarterback and coaching that position, we're going to be better at it. And the thing I love about Brett's the first one after a game texting and like, hey, here's what I think I can do, and where are we going from here? You love that. You love it about him. So can we play better in those games? Absolutely. Would he agree with that? Absolutely. Can I help him? Absolutely. And the guys around him too. That's one of the things too. We've got to be able to, in big games, we've got to make those plays. And I'm watching the Seahawks game yesterday in Richardson. You're looking at some of those spectacular plays. Well, in big games, sometimes you got to make some spectacular plays happen, and that goes for everybody. And it's a total team effort to do it, but we'll get better there. And that's what this whole off season is. You go back, you got 2 years now of film for a guy like Brett that we can go back and we can learn from and study. And to be honest with you, that's probably one of the most pleasurable things about my job is that time spent with the players and watching things like that. And then it's going to carry over into this next season. Brett's a true sophomore. Sometimes I forget that. He's a true sophomore and with a tremendous head on his shoulders and a great work ethic. So I see nothing but him getting better. And this is going to be a great opportunity for he and I and Coach Hill and the offense to do that.
With Junior Adams leaving, I'm just curious timetable when you think you might have a replacement there. And is it going to be just straight replacement of his role, or does this allow you the opportunity to do anything different in terms of titles and things like that? Or
yeah, I'm kind of evaluating everything. So it's not, I didn't look at it as receiver coach leaves, just receiver coach added. I didn't look at it like that. I think the first thing that I look at is our staff completely, and really from defense to offense, everybody in this building, and what is the best setup. We got some really good coaches in here. We got coaches that have coached multiple positions. So you look at that, and you also look at, all right, what's the best thing moving forward for us as a staff? What type of guy, what type of skills does that guy bring in? What type of development does our receiver room need? What type of mentality does that group have as well? So there's a lot of factors in there, but the simple word it comes down to is fit, and not just fit for that room, but fit for the entire idea of what we want to look like moving forward. And the timetable on that, I don't have one. We're going to have one. We'd like to get a guy in place, and I'll say this, there's a lot of interest from guys out there, and some really great guys and guys I've been around and have interviewed before and have talked to. But also got to look at, what does that mean for the guys we have in this building right now, and how does that fit? So I'm not in a rush to go out there and just have a guy, because what I told the staff and what I told our players is the right fit is more important than having somebody right now. And so the coaching convention is going on right now. I'm not going to have a chance to go back there. Got some things here that I've got to take care of with family. But there's an opportunity now in the convention, and like I said, kind of this last game, and there's still some staff things going on out there and some changes. Let some things shake out, and I think that's the best way for us to continue to operate is we look at it like that, and we get a chance to speak with guys and do it the right way, and let our staff too. I think it's important that our staff has input on who that guy is, because their opinions to me matter. And if they think we need to have a different way of doing it, then I've got to sit down and listen to them. And that was what our meeting was about a few days ago, is just, hey, let's put it out here, what we think, where we're going, and what we want it to look like, because those guys sitting in that room are extremely intelligent, and they got a lot better feel of what we want to do moving forward.
Obviously, it was Andy's first year running the defense. Just overall, how would you evaluate the job he did, and do you think you guys made strides in that department?
I do think we made strides. I know this, as a coordinator in general, and you can say first year, it's really every year. I always felt that way. It's kind of, you're going back to ground zero. But, as a first year coordinator, it's managing time, it's managing people, It's coaching your coaches in that room, and I thought he did a pretty good job of that. I thought under the circumstances, and we can talk about it all day long, we had some things on the defensive side happen from a personnel standpoint that affected us. We lost some key players, and we lost them for a significant amount of time throughout the year. And the one thing I would say that does affect your football team, but there was a plan in place, all right? If this happens, we had a plan. There was no panic or we had to make something up. We had a plan. And to me, that's a good sign of a coach or a coordinator, is understanding that if this happens, we have a plan. And we've had to move some guys around. And I think DeAndre Pierce, as a true freshman, played boundary safety, free safety, nickel corner. That's impressive to be able to get that done with a true freshman. And he was pretty effective when he went out there and played, which is going to make him that much better of a player. So overall, yeah, I feel like those guys, they did a good job. I think we had the right plans going in. But I also think, too, we needed to create some more opportunities, and we had a chance to do that. I think from watching the majority of the season, we can fix that. And I'm excited to get back, actually, to start working on that right away. Got some new ideas, new thoughts, maybe a little outside the box, which is exactly what our team enjoys when we do some of those things. It's going to make us better. But as far as having a plan and being prepared, yeah, did a good job.